So we're talking about bridging the gap between data and AI. But by data, I mean operational data here. So we're not talking about unstructured or multimodal or any of that stuff. We're just talking about how do you connect your actual business data, the crown jewels, to AI. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I've done a bunch of data work. If you need to know, like, let me know. Founding PM for Spanner as an example. Okay, so when we say, as I said, how do you connect your operational business data, which to me is the crown jewels of any business, or frankly any sort of type of data system that you're building, the stuff on the right is right where all your operational business data lives. And today, it's really hard to actually directly connect it to your AI assistants, AI agents, et cetera, right? Like RAG is not going to cut it for this, right? So how do you actually get the right data at the right time for your agent so that it can make progress? That's sort of the job of Snow Leopard here. So just to set up the context, in this case, we have a Shopify style, like we modeled it on Shopify. So it's a Shopify style e-commerce data set with two data sources, Postgres and Snowflake. And it is set up how you'd expect, right? Postgres has the customer and account information. Snowflake has sort of the more warehousey type stuff for data analysis, et cetera. And what I want you to notice is what happens in this case, right? So here, in real time, when Snow Leopard gets a query, it is going to decide what data source to use between those two, which we call intelligent routing, where to go, what row column to use, and then it will build the SQL query for PG SQL or Snowflake SQL, and then run the query on that particular instance, and then fetch the data live from the data source. We call this live retrieval, and then it'll generate the final response with the contextual data that it has. Right? So are we ready? I loaded this because network was being flaky earlier, but can everybody see this? Okay, so let's ask a question. Because I have one hand, I'm not going to type, and you can. This is proof that I am not a UI person. That I built the thing behind it and just imagine the magic. So in this case, again, what's happening is we're saying, okay, something about account balance for a customer, right? So that means in real time, Snow Leopard is looking at it. It's saying, oh, this kind of data is going to be in Postgres, and so it's going to Postgres. The Postgres in this case is running on my laptop, right? So it goes and generates a PG SQL query, and then goes to the Postgres database and fetches it, and then we end up sending this to an LLM because we are trying to give it the final contextual response. And so in this case, it's an OpenAI query, so it's doing that. So let's ask another question, like, because I don't want to type. Yeah, let's do this. So in this case, again, it's looking at the query. Now, let it actually come up, but what it's supposed to do is look at the query and figure out where to go, right? So route it. So in this case, it's going to Snowflake Cloud right now, which is why it's going to be a little slow, I think. But it's going to Snowflake. It's figured out that the shoe sale stuff is going to be on Snowflake, and assuming it doesn't break, it's actually fetched the data already and is sending it to OpenAI to get the final response contextually generated. And come on. Okay, I'll just show it to you. I think it's hung. Oh, I have 40 seconds. Oh, no. I'll come back to it. So the point here is we built a system that basically does all these three things. So no pipelines, no sort of ETL of data, no data motion, really. All we're doing is looking at the information and then deciding where to go in real time, and then fetching the data in situ live and on demand, right? So imagine going from sort of days, weeks, months to set up these things to doing this within a few hours, right? So if you connect your, in this case, right, like the agent to your application, then, to Snow Leopard, then you should be able to get any data that you need that we have access to through Snow Leopard without you having to do any ETL, any pipelines, any data workflows, right? And what this means as a corollary is if you have 8,000 data sources, then you can just connect those 8,000 data sources to Snow Leopard, and we can just go fetch that data. So you didn't, whether you have 8,000 MCP servers or 8,000 sources or whatever, the idea is that for you, you can focus on building the agent, and we can focus on fetching that data for you whenever you need it. So the whole entire process of building your AI agent or application becomes a matter of connecting to Snow Leopard, and then just letting it do its thing. By the way, just as a last thing, this thing sits inside your trust domain, so it's sitting next to your data sources, so there's a whole set of governance stuff that we're not saying like other applications or SaaS things where we just extract your data out and then give it to you when you need it. We just fetch data live, and we sit next to your data source. So hopefully that was interesting. If you're curious, if you have questions, I'm around, let me know. Thank you.